So very good morning to you. Back out again on yet another test ride, and we're testing this morning. This is the Michigan 125 from Lexmoto, and it's wet this morning. It is raining, a big headwind, but at least it's not freezing fog. So back out to get some road mileage on this bike, and we're sitting between 40 and 45 as we normally do on all test rides. And obviously we started on the dual carriageway, and no idea how the camera's going to pick this up, as there is a lot of excessive rain. If you've happened to watch the last two Titan videos, the lens on this gets very clogged up really quick with all the water on it. But just to show that this bike is out and being test ridden for the customer, obviously we banged a little bit of mileage on it to start with, but due to weather conditions, ice, really freezing fog, thought what better to get it out on a wet morning. Don't mind getting wet, better than getting cold. So with the Michigans, nice high style cruiser bars on these ones, and the feet position's quite forward, as I said on previous Michigan rides. But it's a very comfortable bike to ride, and early in the morning that light off that front headlight does light up the road effectively. So it's not like trying to hold a candle in the dark, and does what it says on the tin every time. Obviously we've still got a lot of bikes going out, and obviously COVID lockdown, we are still open for business as normal, selling bikes, servicing bikes, MOTs and all the other bits that we do. So if you have got any bike that you need doing, the guys at Eclipse can still do it. And we are still test riding as well. Obviously what better social distancing machine to get out on one of these. We're just going to give the lens a quick wipe over. There we go, so get a little better view of the road. Don't know how long it's going to be before it all rains up again on that lens, but it is absolutely hammering it down, and thank God for a decent set of textiles that I'm wearing today. As always, I've got my Biker Island ones on. High vis, lovely and waterproof, and I am lovely and warm under this. Believe it or not, I am only wearing a t-shirt and a shirt under this textile jacket. So if you are thinking of being out in all weathers, I'd say go textiles every time. Trousers on this, got the thin shillet layer on these, and obviously they've got the Scotchlite 3M reflectives on them. But if you are looking at bike gear, we do stock a range of bike gear with the thin shillet and the 3M high vis on them. It is absolutely hammering it down, and I've got, I'd say, about 10 to 15 mile an hour headwind against me, but bike's holding at 40 mile an hour like I expect it to do, not being affected whatsoever. And the one thing I do like about these LED indicators, they are very bright. You can see everything that's going on, and it makes the other vehicle owners aware of where you are. And especially off these mirrors, lovely and wide, and I can see absolutely everything in that offside mirror. Nothing better than do a head check though. And we're just coming in on that rear combined braking. I've checked the braking already on this, absolutely perfect. But I always say, if you're in wet weather, use the rear to start with. Don't go grabbing handfuls of front brake, as you're going to wash the front end out. But even on these little skinny tyres, and as I knock on about each time about the Lexmoto tyres, yes, they are nylon tyres, but they do a very effective job. Now, in wet weather and icy conditions, or a bit of black ice, you're going to be taking your time anyway. You're not going to be hammering around corners as you would in the dry. But I never have an issue with these Lexmoto tyres. Comes down through the gearbox, great, and pull it up on the front brake, absolutely perfect. And just working it back through that box. Quick shoulder check. And we're going to go back onto dual carriageway, get some urban on in a minute. But even look, leaning into these corners, now I'm taking my time, I'm at 30 mile an hour, leaning it nicely, no issues at all from those tyres. And that is in heavy, wet conditions. But normally the people that complain about, oh, I don't like the tyres on the Lexmotos, either going too fast into the corners, or you're a novice at what you do. Go and get some more rider experience. Now you can pick up a lot of stuff off of YouTube. And I tend to hang around on one channel known as DDFM, Dan and the Fireman. And there are some great instructional videos on there about how to do slow manoeuvring, tight turns, how to do figures of 8, all the stuff that you would normally get on your CBT. And with a CBT, they're just going to put you on the yard, do a couple of figure 8s, do an emergency stop, let's see you handle the bike. One day course and you're let loose to play with traffic on the road. I would always say get out there, get some experience, and if need be, you're a bit worried about being on the road, ask for some extra rider training. And a lot of CBT schools have been quite happy to do extra rider training. And obviously as an experienced biker, and I've got 51 years under my belt. I started at 5, and obviously 2 times a year I actually go out with one of our local CBT DAS Mod 1 Mod 2 schools, and I have a little bit of a refresher course twice a year, and they do pick up on some of my bad habits, going too fast into corners, putting my knee down far too much. But it's good to get out and just do a few more refresher courses, and especially if you are looking to go up to bigger bikes, there's nothing better than being out on the road, getting a little bit more road experience, and obviously watching a lot of those YouTube videos about training. So currently, 8 miles in on this one. A little bit more to rack up, but these Michigans, you'd never have a problem, and especially with these nice big foot plates or footboards or running boards, whatever you want to call them, where you put your feet, they are lovely and comfortable, a lot better than you would have off of pegs. Obviously a peg will sit in the middle of your foot. After a bit of a while you're going to get an achy foot. I tend to ride my pegs using my toes, not the middle of my foot, but obviously I ride sports bike style, but plates or boards always be a lot better comfortable on a cruiser, and especially with that foot forward style, it's a lot more comfortable than you would on a tourer or a sports bike. And obviously with those high bar positions, puts your arms at a nice steady relaxed angle. You're not hunched over a tank or leaning down with the weight on your wrists, so nice and comfortable on this Michigan. Now these come in 2 colours, they come in the silver and they come in the black, they also come in a red. Personal favourite is the silver one. I do like the black as well, but the silver is my favourite, which is the one I am riding this morning. And a nice gear position indicator, hence that nice little red button there, red display there that says 5, but all your gear positions are on the dash, and that's handy because I have a green light with me as well, so just ease it down a little bit just to keep up with the flow of traffic. And once again, leaning into the roundabout, no issues off these tyres whatsoever. And we're going to do my favourite little test. If you happen to know Milton Keynes at all, we call this the Brick Hill Hill. It's the steepest hill in Milton Keynes. 5th gear. Take it up to 40 mile an hour and just see how the hill affects performance when I lock my wrist off and hold the throttle in a certain position. So sitting at just over the 40, starts a nice gradual incline and gets a little bit steeper, and a little bit steeper. And it's also very dark up this hill, so just show off that front headlight as well. What I'm going to do is just clear the camera, get the power back on, drop it a gear and get some power back on, because obviously I've just taken my hand off the throttle. Up the 5th gear, 40 mile an hour again. But you can actually see that beam pattern of that headlight. So nice and bright, lights up the road, lights up your white lines. That's only on dip beam at the moment. I'm going to let these cars clear a little bit. Disappeared up the hill. I'm going to pop the main beam back on so you can just see what the main beam is like on this as well. I might have to do that on the slip road due to the amount of traffic coming past me. And the stoplight on this, nice high stoplight on this, makes it nice and easy for the cars to see you. Just here we are going to let the traffic clear, and there we go, pop that main beam up, nice and bright, and it's still holding its 40 mile an hour as well. So very bright main beam on this one. It's giving me about, I'd say about 50 yards of view. And just popping back down the other side of the dual carriageway. And you can just tell from that wind noise how much headwind I've got coming back down. What a gorgeous little bike. Obviously that rain's coming a lot harder now. It's absolutely teeming it down. I'm still dry. Nice little burst of 45 and ease it back to 40. So what we do, we tend to vary the mileage on this, vary the speed on this. To 40 and then back to 45. 45 is the maximum we are allowed to do, obviously due to running in processes and procedures that we do at the garage. Quick shoulder check, make sure nothing's coming down the inside lane. Absolutely perfect. So we're going to wind it up here and cut back in when we're in on the urban route. I'm going to crank up a few more miles on this bike in the wet, and we'll see you in a few. So came back off the dual carriageway mileage. We've got 13 miles on the bike. Absolutely zero issues whatsoever, and I didn't expect them to be on these little Michigans. They are absolutely bomb-proof. So final couple of miles to put on the bike. It's still absolutely hammering it down. Oh, the fun of being in the wet. And the things we do to ride test bikes for customers has to be done. Someone's got to do it. Absolutely perfect. Holding a nice steady line. No issue at all from the tyres. So obviously if you are thinking of getting one of these, have a look at some of the ride tests, make your mind up as to what bike you like. But I would always say, go and sit on a bike, try it for size, see which one is the most comfortable for you. Pictures can sell a bike 1,000 times, but it's not till you actually sit on the bike you think, maybe this isn't the one for me, or I do like this. So always go and sit on the bike first, try it out for size. But all the favourites, the Michigan, ZSBs and the Titans are my favourites. Sports bikes wise, I do like the LXRs. You get a great choice from Lexmoto. So we're going to head back to the garage now. Final bit of mileage is all locked up. I shall go and dry off and get myself a nice hot cup of coffee. So if you enjoyed the video of a wet RB, it'd be very much appreciated if you hit that subscribe button. We're nearly at 1,000, so it'd be nice. And obviously we've got a little bit of a giveaway for the 1,000th like. We should be sending them some RB gear. As always, leave your comments in the section below. What's your favourite Lexmoto? What do you think of the Michigans? And no taking the mick out of me getting wet. As always, all the details for the garage and everything can be found on my page, which is www.revbomb.co.uk. Last page has all the links. That's for the social media, Facebook, Twitter, the YouTube, and the links to the garage, all in there. Or if you haven't got time to write it down, just remember Eclipse Motorcycles MK, Milton Keynes MK.co.uk. Telephone number 01908 643 603. If you're interested, give them a call. New stock is available in about the next week or so, so we're due for a delivery for bikes from Lexmoto. They're finally in the country. If you're out riding this week in these horrible conditions, ride safely. Be well. If you are social distancing, keep yourself safe, guys. Some nasty times ahead. And until the next time, when we take another bike out, we will catch you on the next one. Don't forget, this coming Friday, get up on YouTube, Military Biker. Got a little bit of a forum going on with the Military Biker, so check him out. Jim Diesel's going to be in there, Diesel Hogs, all the big bikers. So come and meet us if you get a chance this coming Friday. And until the next time, from RB, it's a big, wet goodbye from me.